Here, Barb. There's Dana.
Barbie, Dana.
Okay, I think we're good. We're good. I've been elected to say some words about family, and I guess we'll start with Kay, since it's her birthday. 80 years old. Katie is 80. And she's doing pretty good for 80 years old.
Yes. Woo!
Back in 1943, this date, 1943, well, actually, in 1941, I think Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese and World War II broke out.
Yeah.
So that kind of changed everything for a lot of people in the United States. And Dad didn't want to leave and go fight the war without leaving some sort of a legacy behind. So he took the bull by the horns and got Mom pregnant with the first of what would be many children. And that child was Kay. So that's 80 years ago. And shortly after that, he went off to war. And like so many soldiers in that age, they didn't know, nobody knew whether they would come back or not. And fortunately for all of us, he did come back, because here we are.
She would have been an only child.
I'm not sure Mom always appreciated it.
Well, Dad used to tell a story that they put all of the soldiers in the bottom of the Navy soldiers in the bottom of the ship to keep the ballast because the waves were so big and strong. And they told him after they survived it that they were 1 degree away from going over completely.
And he would never go on a ship after that. He wouldn't even take a cruise. Mom went on a couple of cruises, he wouldn't go with her. He never wanted to see the inside of a ship again.
Lots of rotten boats.
So anyway, that was the start of a large family, and Kay had it made for 3.5 years, and then guess who came along? Me, and ruined her life. You never have any friends over without getting pestered by her little brother.
He followed me all over. I didn't want,
Well, it wasn't because I liked you.
Let's make one thing perfectly clear here.
Yeah. Anyway, that you know the rest. We lived on a farm, and Dad was not a good farmer. He hated farming. So that lasted for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I would guess. Do you know, Kay, how long we lived on that farm?
Probably about 5.
5 years. We always had a lot to eat, but we were always broke. We were poor. We never had any money. But it turned into a grand adventure with 6 more kids that followed. 5 after me, anyway. Sue was the first success after several miscarriages, I believe. And along came Sue. And Sue was voted the most beautiful baby of what year?
Every year.
Well, granted, you're still a big baby.
I thought that was assumed.
Gotcha.
Like I was band queen, there was only 2 girls in band, so.
Yeah, we heard that last weekend.
Yeah, I know.
The band queen. And Millie was band queen in her day, too.
And Barb was
I
band
was
queen.
too.
Barb, we have a great legacy of band queens here. Cheers for the band queens.
I was too French horn.
That's a different kind of queen.
Oh shoot!
No, that's Tom. Tom was the band queen.
And he played the tuba.
Be careful.
He really did.
Videoing this for Tom, so.
Can you imagine Tom was a tuba?
Anyway, I don't know what else to say about family, but Mother in her declining years said, "I'm so glad I had a big family." Although towards the end she thought we never came to see her.
She didn't know anybody, but.
The last weekend, Karen and I saw Mom. We came to stay with her because Kay and Sue wanted to go to Carter's graduation in the Quad Cities. And we spent a nice 3 days with Mom. And 2 days later, Sue called and said, Mom said, "You know that couple that came to stay with us? They were really nice." So I think Mom's demise came at a pretty good time because she was starting to lose it. God bless her. And Dad, you too. Anyway, so that's it. But I've got a little something that I'm working on. I've asked a friend of mine, hired a friend of mine to do some research into our genealogy.
Oh, neat.
And she's gonna do a total family tree, and she's already started. I just talked to her last night, I texted her actually last night. She's already head over heels with it. If I can find her message here.
Side. Nelson?
Well, we know quite a bit about the Plunkett side. I think we've got a good history on the Plunkett side, but she will do it all. We really don't know much on the Nelson side. That book that Kay gave me, that Polly had, it's really hard to follow, and it doesn't track real well. It doesn't go back very far. But
What is that, Grandpa Nelson?
both Grandpa and Grandma. So we got the Adbury side and
Yes, that's.
Grandpa. And within minutes, Carl and I both had our DNA done several years ago to find out, what countries we came from. And that's a start. But, so I gave her my password, and within minutes, she came back and said, there are 5 trees I found that have your father mentioned in them. The last 2 are private, so probably not much to snag from them. Although I noticed one of those trees belonged to Colin Nelson. I don't know how that happens, Colin, but you're in it. Anyway, I have a picture here, which I think we've all seen before, but it says your grandfather, his siblings, and his parents. Patrick Plunkett is your great-grandfather, pictured here with 7 of his 8 children. So that was kind of a resounding theme in the family, a lot of kids.
Family man.
And she's already started on Grandma Plunkett, which we know a lot about. But she goes on to say she found the Atterbury side in a couple of trees, and she's gone back so far to our 3 generations of grandfathers, to our great-great-great-grandfather, who was named Niels Hellickson. Niels Hellickson. I'm not sure how that gets to be a Nelson, but that's your
Well,
third
it's not far away.
generation back.
Because they take the first name, and a son born of that person would be Nelson.
But this is Niels, not Nels, but anyway.
Got switched to
Still.
Nelson probably.
And she says, pedigree line back to your 3rd great-grandfather, born about 1770. And then she follows the family over here. A lot of our family came through Dodgeville, Wisconsin, and then came to Humboldt County. A lot of our relatives settled in Humboldt County before we got to Goldfield. She said, I'm positive you have many living relatives in Norway. I will show you why. She said over 24,000 DNA matches. 24,000 DNA matches.
One of your grand.
So there was one guy out there who was better than Dad. I said, yikes, that's incredible. Are any of them in jail? She said, are you offering bail money? I'm sure you have all walks of life. She told me when she starts these studies that sometimes you find some skeletons in some closets. So that's why I asked her if there was anybody in jail. But anyway, so she hadn't gone very far yet, but it's kind of interesting. And when I get that, I will share it with all of you, and we will see where we come from and who we are. What I would like to do is find living relatives in Norway and try to contact them. And because Karen,
I'm right here.
well, this is Karen over here. As most of you know, has living relatives in Denmark, and we visited them, and Karen and Tom visited some others when they were in
Yeah,
Denmark.
and Dana and Justin and Cara and Tom are going back to meet
They're
them
going
again.
back next year.
Yeah, this year.
October
Cool.
this year.
So that's pretty cool when you can track your family back to their origins and meet relatives back there. So if we can find some living relatives in Norway, we'll try and track them down and see if we can make contact with them and get to know
Let's
us.
all go over there.
And get to know us.
See how I-
Well, if they're half as much fun as us, they'll be a hoot.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're right there. Anyway, thank you, and